Welcome to Singles Pursuing Purpose, and I am your host, Lemoy. I am so excited to share company with you today, wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining me, and it's another beautiful day. And I just want to share with you some nuggets of wisdom that I have received along the way. Some of these are, words from other individuals who have invested in my life. And I want to share some of these words with you today that I think will be very important for you as you think about making that step to pursue your purpose, or maybe you're already on that journey to pursuing your purpose. I think these nuggets of wisdom that I will share, they will help you for the journey. They're going to support you on those days when the sky hangs so low and you can't see the sun and you're wondering, did I ever make a mistake in starting? No, you didn't. It is part of the process. So I want you to stay tuned and let's get into it. So, the first thing that I want to share with you is that failure is inevitable. So, success is not an overnight thing. And oftentimes, before we are able to attain success, we must go through failure. And I want you to know that failure is not the end. It's not the end of the world. It is what do you do with failure? And so that takes me to my next point, that you must manage your failure. So when you fail, what do you do? I know it's natural for us to, feel frustrated, for us to cry. It's a natural response. If you fail and you cry, that is natural. But after that, what next? And so I'm going to suggest that you manage your failure. You want to do an analysis. What went wrong? What could I have done better? What have I learned from this experience? And what can I use from this experience to better myself for the future so that you don't make the same mistake that you made before? The next thing that I want to focus on is forget what people are going to say about you. Forget what the naysayers are going to say about you. If you're concerned with what people say about you, then I could tell you that pursuit of your purpose may not be possible because you will always have the external voices. You will always have the noise. But how can you stay focused? Even in the midst of the noise, even when you're hearing those negative comments, how could you close your ears to it? And so you can't be too concerned about what people say about you. You have to know who you are. Be confident in what you are bringing to the table. The next thing is faith must be stronger than fear. Very important. If your fear is greater than your faith, then chances are you're not even going to get started. If your fear is the dominant voice that you're hearing, then chances are you're never going to leave that track. You're going to stay right there in your position. So your faith must be the dominant voice. Your faith must be what you hear, and whatever that looks like for you. You should have the belief that this thing that is within me, it is greater than the noises around me. It is even greater than what my internal critic is saying. Because sometimes our fight is not against the external noise, but it's against our internal critic. So your faith must be stronger than your fear as you move towards pursuing your purpose, maximizing your potential, and developing yourself. Barriers are intended for us to grow, and that's similar to failure. Barriers are intended to make us grow. So, when you have a barrier, what do you do? Do you just fold your hands, sit there, and do nothing? When you encounter a barrier in your life, it is time for you to go to the drawing board. It's time for you to look for alternatives. What is it that I could do differently? Do I have other sources? Do I have other resources? So when you encounter barriers, it's not time for you to stop, but it is time for you to explore the alternatives, that other alternatives that you may have. Moments of crisis builds character. What do you do in a crisis? Have you ever been in a crisis situation and you even surprise yourself because of your reaction? You had no other choice but to act in that moment. And so crisis sometimes allow us to discover new things about ourselves, new dimension. We didn't know that we would could be so effective in this crisis. You had to do something that you have never done before because of a crisis. You know what? I remember inviting someone to be a presenter to an event that I had. And literally, a few hours before the event, this person canceled. I wasn't able to find a replacement speaker at the time. That was a crisis. There were other individuals, people were registered, sign up, expecting to come, expecting to hear something. And so I didn't want to disappoint those who were coming. And so I was in a crisis. And what I had to do, I had to make it work. I had to speak to that internal critic that would want to say to me, you know what, Lemoy, cancel. No, I'm going to do what it takes to make it work. And in that crisis situation, I was able to discover new dimensions about myself. I was able to identify skill sets that I have. So we could use crisis to build our character. I want you to also know that crises are seasonal. Hardship, hardship is seasonal. Whatever hardship that you're facing in your life today, I believe that it is seasonal. For myself, I believe that whatever struggle that I am facing today, whatever barriers that I am facing today, these barriers are seasonal. They're not going to be there every day. They're not going to be there for the remainder of my life. They're barriers. They have an intended purpose. And sometimes if we don't go through the process, we will not be able to build that tenacity. We will not be able to build character that we will need for the journey. And so, if you fail some of the small lessons that you need to learn now that you're starting, when you arrive at your destiny, when you arrive at your preferred position in life, if you have not mastered those lower lessons that you should have taken, something is going to be happening when you're at that level in your life. And I believe it's not going to be anything good. So it's best that you perfect your character now. Bring it through the fire now. So when you're at your preferred location, you will have no character flaws. You will be able to function and you will be able to sustain yourself. You want to be able to have the capacity to sustain yourself, to sustain those around you when you arrive to your preferred location. When I talk about preferred location, that place that you envision, that space that you envision that you're going to be, where your life is going to be, your impact that you're going to have. It's okay to start small and believe in the process. So start small and believe in the process. So, you know what? Never despise humble beginning. I remember somebody telling me that years ago. Don't despise a person that you see is starting small. Don't despise a person who is in pursuit of their purpose, because that person who is starting small, they have a vision in mind. They have a view in mind. They know where they're going. And I want you to know that the way in which you start does not dictate how you end. You could look at your life. I could look at my life, that the way in which my journey started, I never knew I would have had some of the experiences that I have had in my life based on what my present reality was saying at the moment. So never use your present reality to allow that to be the narrative for the course of your journey. Hence, do not despise small or humble beginnings. So if you have to start small, go for it. It's better to start small than not start at all. I want you to be proud of your story. Be proud of your story. And it doesn't matter how bad you may think your story is. Be proud of that story. Your story, what you have gone through, it is part of the package that you present. It is your story that makes you unique. It is your story that separates you and distinguishes you from the marketplace. And so be proud of what you have gone through. Be proud of your story, not being ashamed of it. Maybe, yes, there were things in your life that you may have done that you feel ashamed of, but it is in the past. And remember, you cannot change the past. You can learn from the past. You could choose the lens through which you will look at the past. I am absolutely sure that one day some of those difficulties that you have encountered, that you have experienced, you will be able to share with someone, to encourage someone who is going through maybe the same situation or even worse. And you could say to that person, look at me. I am a testimony. I was once there, and look at me now. And the fact that my life has changed, then there is a lot of possibility that your life too could change. I want you to stop listening to negativity. Stop listening to negativity, whether it's external negativity or it is internal negativity. And I'm not talking about, you know, criticism that is going to be important for you to have, constructive criticism that can help you to be better, to master your craft. I'm talking about negative words that are um, given or that are said concerning your life, and their sole purpose is to tear you down and to make you feel insufficient and incapable and not able to complete the assignment that is on your life. So it's different when we talk about constructive criticism and we talk about negativity. I am talking about negativity. Be deaf to negativity, because if everything that you hear, you take it on and it settles in your spirit, you're going to be broken. And a soul that is broken cannot serve. A soul that is broken cannot pursue purpose. And so sometimes you have to become deaf to what you hear. You sometimes have to become blind to what you see if you're going to be the master of your destiny. I want you to know that no pain, no glory. We want the glory. I want the glory. But then there is a process. There is a process. The pain. We got to go through pain sometimes. We got to go through some uncomfortable situations. We got to go through some uncomfortable experiences because we want that glory. We want to maximize our potential. We want that fire that is ignited on the inside. We want it to burst. But for that to happen, sometimes we got to go through it. And I want you to know that the fire of life, it is not a breaking point. It is actually a making point. If you look at gold and the process that it has to go through, it is not a breaking point. It is a making point. So, my friends, today, I don't know where you are. I don't know where you are in your journey. I don't know what life is doing to you at this moment. But my assignment in this moment is to let you know or to remind you that your pain that you're feeling, at this hour, at this moment. It is part of your story to your glory. It is part of your story to your glory. And so today, my friends, be not discouraged. Be not discouraged. Be not silent. Do what you have to do today and maximize your potential, because the world is waiting to hear from you. They're waiting to hear your voice. They're waiting to see what is it that you will bring to the table. So don't disappoint them. Don't disappoint God. Don't disappoint yourself. Get up and do what you need to do today. You are more than able to get it done. Thank you so much for sharing company with me today. I want you to share this video, give it a like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share it with a friend today. And just let you know that I am cheering for you. So until we meet again, walk good.